You were completely fine all day, and then you got home, closed the door, and something hit you that you cannot even name. Not sadness exactly, not anger. Just this heavy, familiar weight sitting right in the center of your chest that somehow feels like it has always been there. You told yourself you were fine. You believed it, but your body never did. And that right there is where it starts. Point one, the emotion that shows up at the wrong time. Picture this. Someone says something unfair to you, and in that moment you smile, you say, no problem. You move on like nothing happened. Then, hours later, completely out of nowhere, this wave of anger rises up inside you, and you cannot explain it because the moment is long gone. This is called emotional delay, and it is one of the most misunderstood signs of a traumatized nervous system. Your brain learned very early that feeling things in real time was not safe, so it stored them quietly, tucked them away until you were finally alone. Then it released everything at once. This is why traumatized people seem unbothered in the moment and then fall apart at night. It was never about the night. It was always about everything that happened before it. Point two, the feeling that everyone already knows. You walk into a room, any room, and something subtle shifts inside you. It feels like every person in there has already formed an opinion about you before you even opened your mouth. Like your worst parts are somehow written all over your face and everyone except you can read them. Psychologists describe this as the glass frog response. A glass frog is completely see-through, and every organ inside it is exposed to the world. Traumatized people feel exactly like that in social spaces because they spent years hiding painful things at home, and that constant hiding rewired the brain to assume exposure was always one moment away. The hiding never stopped. It just moved with them into adulthood. Point three, the depression. You stopped noticing. Here is the one that most people never see coming. There is a version of depression that does not feel like depression at all. It feels like being exhausted without a real reason, like not genuinely wanting things, like watching your own life from a slight distance and calling that normal. Therapists call it refrigerator buzz depression because it hums so consistently in the background that you stop hearing it entirely. You did not develop this as an adult. You were raised inside it. It was the atmosphere of your childhood, and because it was always present, you assumed everyone felt this way. The silence, when it finally comes, is the most shocking part. Point four, crying over nothing and feeling nothing when it matters. You sit through something genuinely painful without a single tear. Then a stranger on the street does something unexpectedly kind and you have to look away because your eyes are burning. A song you have never heard before reaches something inside you that a real loss somehow could not. This is not emotional inconsistency. This is what happens when grief has no proper exit for years. Trauma does not store pain neatly. When expression was dangerous growing up, when vulnerability was met with punishment or silence, the pain reroutes itself. It finds cracks instead of doors. It comes out sideways through music, through strangers, through fictional characters getting the love you quietly stopped asking for. Point five, the apology that lives in your body. Someone bumps into you on the street and you say sorry. A friend is in a bad mood and something inside you immediately starts searching for what you did wrong. You shrink in rooms where you have every right to take up space and you genuinely cannot explain why. This is not politeness and it is not a personality trait. It is a survival response that was built in an environment where keeping the peace meant making yourself as small as possible. The apology was never really about the other person. It was protection. It was the fastest way to lower the temperature in a room that always felt 1 degree away from dangerous. Here is what nobody tells you about all of this. Every single thing on this list was intelligent once. The emotional delay protected you from feeling things you had no support to process. The glass frog feeling kept you alert in a home that required alertness. The apology kept you safe. The sideways grief was the only grief that was ever allowed out. None of this means something is broken inside you. It means something worked hard to keep you here. The nervous system does not make mistakes. It adapts, it survives. And now that you can see it clearly, now that you know what it actually is, That is exactly where it begins to lose its hold on you. You were never the problem. You were always the one trying to solve it.